Just keep your eyes closed. Just see the principle behind all actions. For the wise one, happy, contented with himself. No action is a compulsion, including this so-called meditation. Is it out of compulsion, a need, you sit down, or because you are effortlessly with yourself and you choose to rest your mind, rest your body for some time. As even no physical action must be a compulsion, no speech must be a compulsion, even the meditation is not a compulsion. Any practice, any action, if it becomes compulsive, compulsive means without doing which you are restless. Like you are angry. You don't express your anger, your hatred, your jealousy, even your enthusiasm. If you are not allowed to express it freely, you feel a huge built-up, a push from within, like a dam bursting. Look at your life. Your every speech, your action. Is it just an effortless flow or a compulsive behavior? Only you shall know. Nobody else shall ever know. It's like two people smiling. Whether it is out of pleasure, jealousy, sarcasm, pretension, only the person shall know. Are you effortlessly with yourself? As Bhagavan says, Partha, nasti me kartavyam, trishu lokeshu kinchana. Hey Arjuna, I have nothing to achieve in these three worlds. There is no such thing which I must do. Nanavaptam vaptavyam. There is no such thing which I don't have that I should have. Meaning everything I have, everything I am. A happy person happy with himself, atmanneva santushta, contented with himself, not dependent on bahyartha lava, external object. Atmarati, reveling in himself. Na Vishayeshu Rati, not reveling in sense object. Atmatrupta, satisfied with himself. Nanna rasadina, not by food and drinks. Such a person. There is nothing to achieve. There is no such thing by doing or not doing which he shall be happy. He is being happiness himself. He is independent of any action, thought, perception. So see for yourself. Even this meditation, sitting down quietly, is it a compulsion or an effortless thing? Until it becomes effortless, you consciously observe, be yourself. Suddhananda Divyaistavai Vedeshangavadakramopanishadi Indiyam Samaga Yanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Ashyantiyam Yogina Yasyantam Navidusra Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. It's number 25 onwards. Sakta karmanya vidvansa yatha kurvanti bharate kuryat vidvans tatha sakta chikirshu loka sangraham na buddhivedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmani vidvan yuktas samacharan na buddhivedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmani Dvaniyuktas samacharan Mahadeva. Please see that. As we have been seeing, as it is impossible for any living creature to remain without action even for a second, it is therefore better to know how to act and not to act. Because anyway you cannot stop acting. And the principle is, in the beginning stages, all our actions are motivated by searching for something, looking for happiness, looking for contentment, looking for recognition, looking for little love, affection, attraction. Everything that we do, please see from your childhood onwards. Anything that we do, it is always with an ulterior motive. If you go to study, it is not for study's sake. We have seen all that. For the sake of building a career. And why do you go to build a career? So that you can end up with a good job. Why do you want a good job? So that you have enough money, security at your disposal. Why do you want enough security? Then you can attract another human being for a relationship. Because if you have no education, no money, no health, nothing, you cannot attract another person in a human world. In animal world, dogs and lions and the cats and the buffaloes and the monkeys, they are not quoting each other with the qualifications. Is that monkey from Harvard? Is that buffalo, has he gone to North India and come back? Is that monkey, is that donkey gone to Middle East and returned? Just because it's a male donkey, female donkey. Attraction. Human being is not like that. Maybe hundreds, thousands of years ago it must have been like an animal. But today we are civilized animals. Even to attract a relationship, you need to have something educated. Just like God has given beautiful feathers to the peacock to attract something. Here you have to literally feather your cap. You have to be educated, you have to be somebody. The girl must be beautiful. Personal relationship. You have a relationship with your father and mother, which is natural. But that is not the relationship with which person ends up in life. Please understand. So even when you are starting our life, anything that we do has an ulterior motive. I educate myself for a job, job for the sake of money, money for the sake of security, security so that I can attract other relationship. And why do I attract relationship? Not for the other person's sake, but because I am unhappy, I am lonely, therefore I want the person. But this honesty and the honest appraisal is not there for millions of people. They think they are going to make the other person happy. When I love you, I will make you happy. That's the biggest mistake. That is why people are so much in trouble. That I shall make the other person happy. No. If your happiness depends upon making other person happy, you are in such a slippery ground. Because when the other person doesn't recognize your greatness, other person doesn't recognize your genuine nature, you are finished. That is why people feel hurt. So all that relationship, all that security, why do you want? So that ultimately maybe one time you can be little happy in life. That is how the person has been acting on in life. And therefore, he is miserable because he never finds that contentment in all the action or the result. So when he searches for himself, looking for what is that happiness is, naturally returns to himself. And when he returns to himself, because of the past habit, still he finds it difficult that these onslaught of thoughts, impressions, ideas are still affecting him. In reality, if you are a sincere person, if you are smart, conscious, intelligent, you shall not allow yourself to be taken over by a thought. How can you, are you getting that point? It is like telling a wave is punishing the water. Huh? A wave is punishing the water. An ornament is punishing the gold. A thought is punishing the consciousness, the self, the absolute. Cannot. No thought can affect. A thought can affect if you are sitting down as a thinker, you will be affected. Any thought can be distraction if you are sitting down as a meditator, but not if you are a meditation, if you are the happiness itself. So one who sees this, for him, nasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Hey Arjuna, I have absolutely nothing to achieve in this world. Suddenly the whole attitude changes. The whole attitude changes. No more the individual is looking for satisfaction and working, but contented with himself. A simple, ordinary example also you can take. Very ordinary example. The child who is learning mathematics and the teacher who is teaching mathematics. Just think, anything. The child who is learning mathematics is struggling to learn. But who has already learnt it? For him is a pleasure to teach. Don't bring in other things that is money, not money. No, we are not talking about that side of it. Just an example. The musician who knows music, just happily teaching music, is a pleasure to teach. The person who is learning, afraid, apasruti, did I feel this, did I do this, did I do this, and so much tension is there. Same thing also, when ignorant man is functioning, always there is a motivation that you shall be, there is a motive that one day I shall be happy or something will make me happy. Searching for happiness, the person is working. Whereas the person is wise, finding the happiness in himself, the work is absolutely effortless. Why are you working? Yuddha yujyasva. Action for action's sake, perception for perception's sake, emotion for emotion's sake. Undisturbed individual. Are you getting that point, please? Absolutely undisturbed individual because happy with himself. Now, as I was sitting down, just when you were sitting in the first 5 minutes, when I was sitting down, I was telling you, look at yourself. Are you an effortless actor, effortless in your meditation, or there is some type of a compulsion? Even after listening to all this time, even after exposing yourself to this thinking, if still there is a little bit effort is needed, do you think you should dismiss somebody else, even one who is struggling in life? No. Tell him how to do. And in order to tell him how to do, you must know also what to do. If you do not know what to do, you shall not be able to tell people how to do. That is why speaking becomes easier, but living becomes difficult. One day a fellow was standing on the road. I was walking on the road and he saw there is a driving instructor giving direction to the learner from the roadside and not inside the car. change this, change that, go slow. And he's running with the car. Then this man said, man, this is funny. This is funny. He said, why don't you go and sit down in the car and teach him? What type of teaching is this? He said, no. You think am I stupid to get into that? He said, why, what will happen? By chance meets an accident. He said, but you are there. He said, no. The car is insured. I am not. The car is insured. But I am not insured. See that point, please? So the person himself is insecure. So he instructs from outside. That is how the ignorant people do. Informed person, without being a part of the life itself, goes on instructing people. Himself doesn't live that life. The person is not happy, but he tells other people, you are the happiness. Who is going to listen? Your meditation is not effortless, but you are teaching meditation to everybody. It will not work. That is why you shall see. When you thus aware of yourself, and in case you still know your mind is sometimes playing truant, you know exactly how to handle it, and of course ultimately becomes effortless. Such a person, knowing the difficulties on the way, knowing the easiness of it, effortlessness of it, yet apparent effort on the way, he shall never create a conflict of interest in others. Josayet sarvakarmani na buddhivedam janayet. Never create a conflict of interest, hey Arjuna, in the other person. What is the conflict of interest? Please see now. Please see this clearly. All of us, every one of us, growing up as children and growing up as ignorant individual, nobody has told us the purpose of existence. Not many cultures even know about it. What is the whole arrangement, the entire plan? Not many people have seen it. So each person is experimenting. It is like you have been eating certain food, the dress that you put on, the language that you speak, over which no child has any control. Please see that whole biography of it, as to why we should be tolerant, not intolerant. Why you should not feel superior to somebody, nor make somebody feel inferior to you. Buddhivedam na janayet. You really want to help somebody, don't make him feel that the person is a dirt. Don't make him feel that he is a rascal, he is a rogue, he is a sinner, he is a waste. No. Every person is absolutely beautiful, divine. If somebody is miserable, unhappy, frustrated, arrogant, jealous, insecure, defensive, it's all because the person is ignorant. He's not aware of himself. Because nobody chooses to be angry, chooses to be short-tempered, chooses to hurt people. When you are getting into a relationship, just think of it. When you are getting into a relationship, start with the ordinary still. When you are going to eat food, do you plan to get a stomach upset? Anybody? Are you eating food? Today we'll have a lunch. Why? After 3 o'clock we'll have stomachache. Anybody? You don't plan, are you getting that? You don't eat food planning a stomachache. You just eat food. Stomachache happens. Because you don't know where to stop, you don't know how to stop. Same thing also human relationship. You don't start a relationship, in the beginning of your relationship, you don't start for waiting for hatred, jealousy, fight, like a mongoose and snake, killing each other, destroying each other, deceiving each other, exploiting each other. No. In the beginning stage, it's all smile. How are you? Who are you? It's all beautiful. First few days is absolutely beautiful. Then the problem begins. Same thing also, while living through life, while passing through life. In fact, there is no choice in living through life because life lives through us. Time lives through us. So as we are exposed to many things in life, perceptions of various kinds, we naturally get hooked into it. because over which we have no choice. The food that we eat as a child, what choices have we got about the language that you speak, the food that you eat, the dress that you wear, the gods that you worship or don't worship, the belief that you have or don't have? Over that the child has absolutely no choice. And especially if it is a social conditioning, where a group of people believe in the same thing, behave in a particular way, naturally you have absolutely no conflict. That is why from the area to area, country to country, from the society to society, men to men, women to women, everything goes on varying. Whatever is a taboo in one country becomes an acceptable thing in another country. In another country, if suppose in one society which is a crime, the other society, it's a glorious thing. Please. Certain people enjoy mushroom. In certain traditions, especially in South India, if you look at it, they think mushroom is dirt. They name it like that. You know what is the name of mushroom in Tamil language? Naikode, meaning dog's umbrella. It's a dog's umbrella, meaning the dog misuses it, you understand? Yes. But some people say, oh, mushroom, best food. Some other person uses the mushroom for drugs. Not only about the food, customs also like that. Certain countries, if you eat food and if you produce a slightest noise, you lick your fingers and make a noise, people will hate you. It is a total disgraceful table manner. They say in China, when you go there, the guest must burp. Until he burps, you must eat. When you burp, then say, oh, very happy. Nice, thank you. I don't know the China race. Forget the country's name. Why give country? Certain countries it is like that. You must eat. Some other thing, another places, they give you food. In some countries, do you want it? No. You go away, no problem. In India, do you want it? No. If you go away, it's nonsense. The person should say no, but you must go on giving. Right or wrong, think of it. In certain societies, marrying your cousin brother or cousin sister is an incest. I cannot marry in North India, that is what Kalidasa says nicely. What is incest and what is morality? In North India, you cannot dream of marrying, relating to your daughter, your sister's daughter. You cannot. Because your sister's children are like your children. But in South India, the boy has the first right over the sister's daughter. If he says no only, they should look somewhere else. By chance they look somewhere else, it's a disgrace, big fight. Why? Family protection, protecting family wealth or something, whatever. No. Certain other religious traditions also, brother's daughter. Brother's daughter you can marry. Brother. Think. Right or wrong? We are not here to pass judgment. But I'm talking, please see that. That is how we grow up in life. Not only about this type of ordinary social behavior, but also religious, cultural conditioning. Why do you believe in a particular God? Did you create it? Why do you believe in a particular ritual? Did you create it? Your upbringing is like that. You believe in a particular thing or you don't believe in a particular thing. That is how he grows up. And any time when he comes across in life anything opposed to what he feels right or what he has been doing as right, conflict begins. That is why when you start interacting, the problem begins. Why so much confusion in families? A girl comes from another family to your family. Now when two families are coming together for the boy and the girl, there is a huge, how many families live happily? Thereafter there is a big fight. The daughter's upbringing is different, the son's upbringing is different. The boy's upbringing is different, the girl's upbringing is different. So naturally, one is suppose very, very conservative, other is totally outgoing. One is very spendthrift, other person is very tight. One who is always laughing and joking, other person is very serious. Other person wants to entertain everybody who comes to the house, other person, why so many people are coming into this house? You understand what I am talking? This is human world, this is human relationship. So family, the brother, father, son, mother, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, the huge fight. Because you are not accepting the other person as she comes or as he comes. So many things are there. And the moment you start interacting, your faith is challenged, your convictions challenged, all your ideas, ideals are challenged. You come from a place where nobody eats garlic. You come from a group of religion where nobody eats garlic. You go to somebody's place and you say, oh, garlic is cooked here. Like one group came here. They saw the place, the most beautiful place. Lovely trees, lovely thing, everything is so beautiful. But that day as they passing by, I think somebody must be cooking something. Some spices were there. Very strong smell. It can be ginger, it can be spice, anything. The person says, oh, there's a spice. Oh, this is not the place, this is polluted. Now, can you get angry with him? That's his upbringing. What can you do? For him, the garlic is such a powerful vegetable that it can close the door of the heaven. God's door be closed because of the power of garlic. You understand? Or a particular brinjal, another group is coming and they are very much against a brinjal. Brinjal is anti-magnetic, some negative vegetable. God only knows. Every vegetable should be given, but brinjal should not be given. Don't ask them why. Because these are the types of conditionings which are so very, very strong. And everybody comes with these things. That is why you can't accept somebody's God. In self-knowledge, please appreciate, in a self-awareness, when a person comes to recognize himself, comes to understand himself, all these things, so-called differences, completely drop out. When you are happy with yourself, please see that, when you are happy with yourself, you do not resist, mind, reject any person with any belief, no belief, God, no God, food, no food, habit, no habit. Are you getting that point? The beauty of this tradition. That is why conversion is not allowed. Conversion is not needed. Forget not allowed. Conversion is not needed. Whereas suppose a person, a particular religion believes in this God, then you must be converted to that God. Are you getting that? Where the conversion becomes a violence, becomes a disaster, becomes a dangerous thing. Because if you want to follow my religion, reject your religion, then come to my religion. In self-awareness, everything is rejected and everything is accepted. You can't be say, I give up that God. No, you don't have to give up that. You may give up in the beginning certain things, but later on you accept everything. There is no such thing that only this God and no other God. Only this book and no other book. Only this man and no other man. Only this food and no other food. We are not interested. This is Buddhi Veda, understand? That is why conversions becomes a huge conflict of interest. Buddhi Veda, because they are creating the conflict in the intelligence. They are creating the conflict in the mind. That only this food must be eaten. That is why any practice oriented, think of it, just like there are different types of meditation group. Only this, oh, you must concentrate on the tip of nose only. That is one group. Another one he says, no, between the eyebrows only. Other person says, no, on the tip of the nose only. Another person, no, only the base of the spine. Other person says, it's not like that. While eating you can meditate. Or you should open your eye and meditate. Other person, you must close your eyes and meditate. This is total intolerance. Or you must breathe half an hour before you meditate. Why? If I am already relaxed, why should I breathe? At the same time, somebody breathing, why should I say no? Do you understand the point? If somebody says, I must breathe, breathe. But don't force me to do that. You understand? I hope you clearly appreciate. It is like a Sufi master. Very beautiful story. The person goes to a person, man goes to a Sufi master and he says, asks a certain question. How do you teach? He says, I am like a shoemaker. In my house, in my godown, there are a lot of leather. Leathers are there. I cut the leather according to the size of the foot. There is no already ready-made and you fix it. No. You cut the leather according to the size of the foot. This knowledge is like that. I am the absolute. Everybody is absolute. But you find out where the person is. From there you lead him up. Don't say, unless you give it up, you cannot understand the truth. No. Or unless you have this meditation for 3 years, unless you learn Sanskrit, unless you speak this language, unless you change your food habit, unless you put on this dress, you shall not understand. No. That is not truth. Listen carefully. You can be just anybody, but that does not mean you shall understand the truth. You can be anybody. Begin with that. Then when you start exposing yourself, you shall know. Ultimately, whatever is not needed, you yourself shall drop it. It is like, very beautiful. It's like, you see, in a school days, somebody was giving, that was like a very nice joke. Children are playing. They will draw a line like this. Suppose you put on a line like this. This is a line. Then the friend will say, can you make it shorter without touching it? There is a line up to this much, 3 inches. Make it shorter without cutting it. As children, naturally, that's a magic. How to make it short without cutting it? Make a bigger line. Once you make a bigger line, draw another bigger line, it is short. Why should you tell somebody that somebody is wrong? Just tell him what is right. He will know what is wrong. Are you getting that point, please? Don't tell the person what he is doing is wrong. Listen, this is very fun, beautiful idea. Next one is coming. It's already spreading, is blasting in my head. Understand? Don't tell him what he is doing is wrong. Tell him what is right. This is the first statement. Second statement is, watch out. The doing begins from the doer, the I, the individual. So don't tell him, you the meditator, you the doer, you the practitioner, you the believer is wrong. No. Tell him who he is. When you tell him who he is, Thereafter, what he should do or should not do is your choice or his choice. Do you understand? How beautiful it is. You let him know. See, you are the happiness. I teach you driving. Shall I tell you where all things you should drive also? Huh? Now what is this? You teach the person driving. After that, where he drives, is it your problem? Yes. Then why these rules and regulations? So that you tell him, you learn driving, but don't use your car for carjacking, for hijacking people, for destroying people, rolling over people. Don't do that. You learn to fly, but don't take the plane and put it in a building and destroy everybody. Just like that. Same way, educate yourself, but you tell them what? Educate yourself, but don't hurt anybody. You tell that, but doesn't work. Why? The person doesn't know anything about himself. That is why these do's and don'ts are plenty, but nobody follows. Understand? Nobody follows. The person had a Bible in his hand and he was standing in the court to take an oath, no? You hold that book and you say, I will not speak anything, truth and nothing but the truth and all that. And that time somebody was holding it, was taking it carefully, is carrying it and going there. Then one fellow says, "Why are you carrying it so tight? What, is there anything breakable inside or what?" He said, "Yes, 10 commandments." These are the only breakable things, Anyway, he says, speak truth and nothing. Suddenly another joke comes to my head. Truth and nothing but the truth. Then one day the court case is going on. So the person says, Judge, he tells, Your Honor, it's very difficult to talk. I don't think I can talk here. He said, why? He said, you made me swear that I shall speak the truth and nothing but the truth. He said, yes. But the moment I speak any truth, this fellow is raising an objection. Objection, Your Honor. So what can I talk? That is the problem in life. Whatever, because it may be your version of truth, it is not lawyer's version of truth. So life people get confused. Anyway, so when you see that rules and regulations have been given, so people are breaking up. So don't tell he is wrong. Because what he is doing, listen carefully, what he is doing has its source in his thought. And that the thoughts are being acted upon depends on the thinker. So when the I is not fixed, thinking becomes wrong, action becomes wrong. So instead of telling action is wrong, thinking is wrong, touch the actor, touch the thinker. Tell him about himself, who he is. As long as he takes the role to be himself, that long every action shall be wrong. As long as you take the role to be yourself, your actions shall be wrong. Once you are with yourself, whatever the role plays is not wrong, because your role. You are playing the role of anger, role of jealous, role of hatred. You can't be... What I am talking to you now, it may sound like a heresy, it may sound like a disgrace, it may sound like, totally rebellious. But this is what the fact is. When you are happy with yourself, you are contented with yourself, everything you can use. Just like you can use a flower, use a money, use your knife, use anything in the physical world, you can also use your emotions. Emotions don't manipulate you. You don't allow the emotions to manipulate you. You don't allow the thoughts to manipulate you. You don't allow anything to manipulate you. You are happy with yourself. Now you use your thought. Therefore, to tell somebody that what he is doing is wrong, your belief is wrong, convert to my belief. No. You are changing his belief, but not changing him. So he shall be a disgrace to your belief. Are you getting that point, please? It is like people in Indian society, where there is this caste system, we shall see later on, is terribly absolute nonsense, but they have been under it for hundreds of years. So one religion will come and say, oh, if you come to my religion, there is no caste system. They convert. And after that, what happens? If you can take that language in India, what do you say? They call it Nadar Christian, Iyengar Christian, Brahmin Christian. And then Brahmin Christians have their church and Nadar Christians have their church. The Dalit Christians cannot go into the other place. Because you can change your religion, but you don't change yourself. So if they have to change yourself, if they have to change themselves, should they change their religion for that? Not necessary. Don't be a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist, Jain or Sikh or believer or non-believer. Be yourself. Then, which one you are comfortable with? Comfortable with the Jains, comfortable with Buddhists, comfortable with the believers, comfortable with the non-believers, comfortable with the politicians, comfortable with idiots, comfortable with smart people, comfortable with everybody. You are comfortable with everybody. Any person. Why? Because everything has its limitation. Which God I should study worship? You decide. What practices I should have? Which is comfortable for you? You decide. That is why nobody is rejected in this tradition. Nobody is rejected. You are a believer? Yes, come in. Non-believer? Yes, come in. Everybody has a place. In a house where there is no taboo, listen carefully. If you are a person with no taboo, any vegetable you will eat. Anything comes on the way, you can eat. Anywhere to sleep? Yes. Anywhere to lie down? Fine. What a person you are. No taboo. Can you join a prayer with non-believers if they are praying? What is their prayer? Singing. Join. Other fellows say, this is the song. All right, this is the song. What is wrong? No, you must kneel down and pray. Okay, kneel down and pray. Stand up and pray. Why should I stand? My religion doesn't allow me to stand. It's like some people put vibhuti. Think. Some people vibhuti. Some other religions say, no, you should not put it. What is wrong if you put it? All right. What is wrong if you don't put it? Suppose somebody says, don't put it. Don't put it. Put it, put it. So comfortable. So comfortable. You are with everybody. But then what happens is, the whole world must be like that. Or else, the people who are with rigid practices, they become aggressive. They destroy everybody. Flexible people are wiped out. Are you getting that? Until those people who are rigid are educated. Because, understand? Because you can go on changing everybody. Convert everybody, destroy everybody. Because together, there's a organized religion, organized belief system becomes disaster, dangerous. This understanding is absolutely universal. You are not changing your gods, you are not changing your faith, you are not changing your things, you are not changing anything, you are changing yourself. If at all you should change in this universe, which one you should change? Please ask that question. Which one you should really change? Can you change the weather? Change your attitude. Can you change everybody? Change your attitude. Can you change your thoughts, your memories? Cannot. Change yourself, meaning understand who you are. But so many thoughts are given. So, when you give that language, Buddhi Veda, please understand, what is Buddhi Veda? Buddhi Veda's conflict of interest is, when he is living with a particular role, he considers himself a non-believer. You say, no, you must believe. Conflict. The person is believing in only in something. You say, no, you must change your belief. Conflict. He is eating particular thing. You must change your food habit. Putting on a dress, you must change your dress. You understand? So the person goes through all these problems. Now you can ask a question, Swami, does it mean therefore somebody is getting angry? If you tell him, don't get angry, is it a conflict of interest? Yes, it's a conflict of interest. Please see how it is. Suppose a person is getting angry, if you say, don't get angry, that is nonsense. Tell him how to get angry. Not don't get angry. Don't get angry, are you getting that point? Don't get angry is like damming a river. A river is flowing. If you just put a dam, what will happen? It will dam the dam and go. Fill it up, burst. Don't get angry doesn't solve the problem. It only builds up. It becomes pent up anger, remains inside. That is why religious people become most violent. And they give it a spiritual color, religious culture, and become religious color and start destroying the whole world. When the water is flowing, listen please, when the water is flowing, direct it, irrigate it, so that it reaches everywhere. An emotion, a strong emotion is there. Direct it towards everything. You know how to direct it. And who should do that? Knowing about yourself. Why? Because who I am is different from all my emotions. So in that, there is no conflict of interest. There is no such, thereafter there is no such thing, you should think this, you should not think this. There is no taboo thought. What is going on? Okay. You can see that later, right? Huh. There is nothing called a taboo thought. Are you getting that point, please? Watch out. This is very, very subtle, huh? Very subtle. There is nothing called a taboo thought. Understand what I am talking? There is nothing called a taboo thought. You can make certain taboo action. Why? Because action is already expression of a thought. Suppose a thought coming through your head, like insult, when anger is passing through your head, a thought is telling you, a thought is passing through your head. A man is going on the road, is very fat, and your thought is heading, thought is passing through your head, pumpkin, look at the pumpkin. Does anybody feel affected? Does anybody feel affected? A man is going, you are slapping him. Suppose a thought comes to your head, that fellow is walking. But your thought is coming, you feel slapping. Or you see a nice girl is going, you feel like touching. Or you feel a nice man is going, oh, I feel like holding him. Something. Suppose that is your thought. Does anybody get affected? The moment you succumb to that thought, it becomes an action. So touching another person without his permission must be a taboo. But thinking of touching a person in the head, if you say taboo, what will happen? It's a thought police. That is why it becomes disaster. You should not think like that. Thinking like that, what is wrong in thinking? By chance it comes, it comes. Right, next. Previously when the thought was coming, I was compulsive. To a child you can't give this reasoning. If you give a child this reasoning that no thought is wrong, child will helplessly express his thought also because he doesn't know yet how to handle the thought. So this is not for the child, this is for the adult. When you are conscious of your thought, then you make the person know himself, that there is a distance between who you are and the thoughts that you have, then you take a responsibility in expressing it. If you say a word, you better take the responsibility. If you move your limbs, you better take the responsibility. Then it is your choice. Are you getting that point, please? then suddenly you shall see the things that I do, the things that I say, does it disturb people? Yes, I will not. Doesn't disturb, doesn't make any difference. Fantastic. It becomes so beautiful. But please appreciate, nobody can be like this from the beginning. Life means unconscious perception, unconscious sensation, unconscious thoughts and memories, continuously we are picking up. And when such a person comes to the wise man, the person cannot say, unless you change, you cannot come. But unless he comes, you won't change. Unless you change, you will never know yourself. But unless you know yourself, your change will not begin within you, from within. That is why, without touching the individual, if you are insisting on that thoughts must change, practice must change, everything must change, it doesn't work. That is why for few days you do it. Few days you shall chant, few days you will do your yoga, few days you will do your meditation. After some time you are tired. Why? The fellow doesn't know anything about himself. Are you getting that point, please? But when he is aware of himself, happily he can do everything. Therefore, na buddhi vedam janayet. Never for God's sake assume the superiority that I am the wise man. I am the only one who knows everything. Hey, what I know is who the other person is. What is so big deal? What I know, the other person is. That person doesn't know about it, but he is it. The prince doesn't know he's a prince. Listen carefully. The prince doesn't know he's a prince. So you slapped him. It leaves a mark in him. Okay? When a prince becomes aware that he is prince, where do you go? He becomes naturally the king. But you have already hit him. What happens to you? You understand? So when you show your superiority and talk nonsense to people, now he grows up. Suppose exposed to right knowledge gets it, then what's the thing? Ridiculous. That is how people drop out of useless religions, useless traditions, meaningless thought processes. They completely walk out of it. Why? Because it has no meaning. Only when you are meaningful, understanding about yourself, please. So, Buddhi Veda does not mean, if you challenge his identity, it is a Buddhi Veda. That is another thing. Suppose you challenge somebody's identity, are you not creating a confusion in him? Because he is happy with the idea, I am a father, I am a mother, I am a brother. But you say you are the Brahman. Is it not a... You see that logic? Because that person thinks he is a father, he is a mortal, he is brother. Now you are telling he is the happiness, he is absolute. Are you not creating a conflict of interest? Conflict of interest. To say you are happiness, is it a conflict of interest? Okay, all your activities for what? Looking for happiness, that's what you are. You are looking for freedom, you are already free. If you say, it's very difficult to be myself. If you are becoming a role, why can't you be yourself? Are you getting that? If you can become a role, why can't you be yourself? Which is not a role. That easy it is. That is why exposure. So whoever comes to this knowledge, welcome. It doesn't matter what is your tradition, what is your upbringing, what are your habits. I am such a rascal. Don't worry about it. I am not talking. In Gita itself come. Apichet sudura achara. Later on it will come. Apichet sudura achara. Bhajate mam ananyavak. Sadhureva samantabhya. Samyak vibhasita hisha. Apichet sudura achara. Hey Arjuna. Even this fellow is Durachara. Durachara means person with bad conduct. Sudurachara means PhD in bad conduct. Just think of it. Even if the fellow is a PhD in bad conduct, if he thinks of himself, knows me, or knows me means knows the God, truth as himself, sadhureva samantabhya, that person must be known as a sadhu, wise one. Even if the person is a PhD in Suduracha, PhD in bad conduct, sadhureva samanta. Why? Samyak vyavasito ishaha. Because he is well established in himself. That is why, God, you are giving him such a big long rope, the fellow is doing all nonsense and he is a good man, he is a wise person. Don't worry. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, satsva santim nigacchati, Arjuna pratijanihi name bhakti pranashyati. A person with huge, deep understanding of himself, by chance he certain times, in the eyes of the other people, seems to behave little wild. Don't worry. Kshipram dharmatma bhavati. Soon, in time, he will become a dharmatma, not duratma. Why? The knowledge takes over. Satsva santim nigacchati. He himself will be tired of doing everything. Because already the healing process has started. He is with himself. Because he doesn't enjoy doing nonsense. Does not enjoy being angry. Does enjoy being jealous. Because previously, when he did not know the other possibilities, guilt-free anger, guilt-free jealous, effortless hatred. Now he knows that is not the right thing. I am happiness in myself. Why am I getting angry? So once in a while the person may explode, but later on it cools down. Arjuna pratijani, go and declare unto the world, my devotee shall never perish. Meaning, one who knows himself shall ever be safe. So, since it is so ultimately, everybody is absolutely flawless and beautiful, buddhi vedam na janayet. Never create a conflict of interest. Whatever may be the action, whatever may be the person's behavior, accept. This is where comes your tolerance. You understand why this tradition is so tolerant? Unconsciously, people in this tradition become tolerant. They accept everybody. Why the guest is accepted? All religions, all beliefs, everybody accepted. Why? This is how it is. Because certain religions, they insist only on one God. Some other religion, they will not believe in a God. There will be natural conflict of interest, you understand? There will be natural conflict of interest. The person who believes in only one God and no other God, can he harmonize the whole world? That is why violence. Everybody must be converted to that type of thinking. What are you doing? Achha. Another person says, there is no God. So that will be fighting between the two religions. One says, this God only, other says, this God only. They will fight. Or one says, there is no God, and another person says, this is the God. They will also have a fight. In Upanishadic tradition, what comes? There is a God. Yes. There is no God. Yes. Shall I meditate? Yes. I don't want to meditate. Don't. Worship? Yes. Why should I worship? Why should you worship? Crazy. It sounds crazy. Absolute freedom. From wherever you are, you can begin. Nobody hopeless case. Because we are not interested in what faith you have, but who you are. Are you getting that? We are not interested in what practices you have, what moods you have, but I am interested in who you are. It is like going for the jugular. Right on the top of the head, you hit the nail on the head. Individual, the I is more important, most important. Where is this tradition? Where the individual is given the highest importance, the biggest, the greatest importance. You are the master of the universe. You are the immortal, you are the absolute. It's not a pep talk, but a revelation. Understanding about one's own self. If you are using the word I, know who you are. So you don't confuse him with another identity. Secular traditions destroy people because instead of helping him know who he is, they give him a new identity. That is why education. With good intention, it creates problem for everybody. The more you study, stronger is your individuality. Because that is the job of the education, I have told you. That which rescues the individual from mass of collectivity, gives him a definite identity. Until you are educated, you are one among 5 billion people. Once you are educated, so and so, PhD, exclusive. Gives a special identity. Now when you are a special identity, now the PhD father. Now you are the father of the PhD, or you are the son of PhD. That is another addition. You are the wife of the PhD, or you are the husband of a PhD. You are the wife of the governor, or the husband of the governor. You understand these problems? Everywhere that little role goes into flowing into that. Then the religious people are so proud. The PhD is from my religion. Now you are tired of these secular identities, being father, being a son, being a husband, being a lover, being a wife, being a beloved. You are tired of these roles, tired of these complications. You want to give up everything and go away. The religious doors are open. Come here. Then give you another role. Now you are previously a follower of a secular belief or a personal relationship. Now you are the follower of a religious belief. That God, that establishment, that organization. Are you making me or you are making me a follower? Are you making me or you are making me worshipper of somebody, practitioner of something? Are you are making me a practitioner of a practice, follower of an ideal? Then what will happen? The same complication begins. So in the name of solving my problem, you are further complicating my life. In Upanishads, there is no such thing. They don't make you a follower of something. No imposition of a practice, but understanding of yourself. You understand who you are. Then what you should do? Don't ask me. Which one is comfortable for you? You choose. I'm happy with myself. Or I want to live this lifestyle. Choose. You choose. Only consideration is, don't create conflict of interest in others. You do whatever you want to do. But na buddhi vedam janayat. Are you getting that point? I am very happy with myself. Why can't I cut all the pigs on the road? Look, if it's not an acceptable behavior, don't do that. And why should you kill the fellow? Why should you kill anybody for that matter? Can you give life? No. Then why should you take life? Simple. Not for religious reason. Can I give life? No. Then why should I take life? Look at these peacocks, so cute, hanging around everywhere. A living thing hanging around. How do you think like a dead thing lying down there now? You are in a mood. You want to pick up a stone, throw. See, I hit the target. Thing is dead. Oh, I am Brahman, I am absolute. No papa, no punya. Perversion. To such people, if he said there is no papa punya in killing that fellow, kill him. There is no papa punya. You are not the body. We are killing the body. We are not killing you. Go. You can't have perversion in this knowledge. Because if you treat a person in a particular way, you must be treated in the same way. Are you ready for it? If you are hurting people with your wisdom, are you ready to be hurt? Understand? Unconscious behavior. If you are consciously being little angry, hurtful, sort of being little harsh, for the other person's sake, it has a different glow altogether. It is a fire which never burns. It corrects, but never burns. When a wise man is angry, it's a corrective anger. If the wise person is harsh or rude, it's a corrective thing. The moment the other person says, that goes away. It doesn't make any difference. Why? Because you're being who you are. You understand that whole logic. Your being who you are is so beautiful, you don't want anything to change it. You understand what I'm talking? Okay, I'll give another simple explanation. Boredom. What is boredom? Think, what is boredom? Boredom is what you are doing is much less interesting than what you want to do. That is where you become bored, distracted. What you are doing is reading. What you want to do is play games. Bored. Right? What you are doing is cooking. What you want to do is watch a movie. Bored. What you are doing is struggling with life. What you want to do is enjoy. Bored. Right? Every time you want to be something other than what you are doing. If any time you want to be something, you want to do something other than what you are doing, you are bored, disappointed, miserable. Okay? Where from it begins? If who you are is much less interesting than what you want to be. What you want to be is an engineer. Who you are is uneducated, frustrated. Are you getting that? What you want to be is a musician, dancer, poet, artist. Who you are is engineer, one mechanical thing, frustrated. Because there is a difference between who you are and what you want to be. What you want to be is better than who you are. Are you getting that point? What you want to be is better than who you are. Therefore, you are always frustrated, always miserable. Okay. When you see the truth for yourself, who you are is so interesting that you don't want to be anybody else. Are you getting that point? Who you are is so interesting that you don't want to be somebody else. Who can affect you? Who you are is so interesting. I'm happy with myself. Who can make me happy? Nobody. Who can make me unhappy? Nobody. So with whom shall I get angry? As though the person makes me inconvenient. So as though I get angry. Don't do this. If it doesn't do it, fine. Suppose it continue to do it, leave them fool alone. Why should I destroy myself? Your thinking, you understand your whole depth is so fantastic. Because who you are is so interesting, you don't want to be somebody else. So where is your boredom in your life? And that is why you become forgiving. Why? With what the person is, immortal, absolute. What he is doing is stupid things. A fool doesn't know, what can I say? The other person doesn't know something about himself which you know. Therefore, forgiving. It's okay, it's all right. Buddhi Vedam na janayat. This line must be placed right all over the world. Because what are you doing? All these religious tribes in the world is only this line. Buddhi Vedam janayet. It's not na Buddhi Vedam janayet. It's not, do not create conflict. Creating conflict of interest is the job of the religion. A religious fellow means a moral police, vigilante, watching at everybody except on themselves, with a broad line of references applicable only for others, and never for themselves. You say, suppose love your, no, just an example. Because you take the statement, it becomes a Christian connotation, but nothing to do with Christianity I'm talking about. Suppose you say, love your neighbor. And that statement is come, not that it comes only in the book. Just think of it, I don't know about it, let's say. I'm just giving an ordinary statement. Suppose you love thy neighbor. But if you are converting, there is no neighbor, because it's only me. So I must be all over, right? Love thy neighbor means what? The person should be as he is, I am as I am. So love thy neighbor means neighborhood doesn't disappear. My lines extend everywhere. We are the only type of only species. It's just like only white men should be there, or only black men should be there, only brown fellows should be there, or only tigers must be there, or only one species. Now what type of world it will be? Let everybody think whatever they want to think. Let everybody be whatever they want to be, but let them be themselves, so that the crime and punishment stops. Are you getting that point? Let them be what they want to be. You be who you are, I am who I am. You eat bread, I eat rice. You put three-piece suit, I put a kobina. You stay in a palace, I live in a hutment. I am swimming on the river, you are swimming in your Olympic-sized pool. I walk, you are flying. Hey, you do what you want to do. I am happy, you are happy. I am happy to walk, you are happy to fly. Who is better? Which bird is better? Falcon or the cuckoo? The falcon is falcon, cuckoo is cuckoo. Rose is good or hibiscus is good? Rose is rose, hibiscus, hibiscus. Why compare? Why compare? Each one has a place of its own. Understand? Each one has a place of its own. Certain societies, certain places. Traditions are like that. Please understand. It is not exclusive ownership of somebody. You must see it clearly. If somebody, by chance you are a vegetarian, for God's sake, don't put on halo, one crown around you. Why? Circumstances people make vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Imagine a country, forget extreme cases of what is that? Eskimos. Imagine in Europe, 50 years, 60 years, 100 years back, where there was no communication, no cars, no plane, no nothing. 6 months, a particular state stays under snow. You cannot grow anything. So only in summertime you grow the potatoes and whatever. You keep it. Potatoes only you can keep. You can't keep cauliflower also. So the people eat potato and animals. What else they will do? Forced to eat. So don't say, oh, the fellow is a non-vegetarian. Hey, don't be moralistic. And if you are an agrarian economy, you have the beautiful sunshine throughout the year, why should you do that? Water will be cold. Vineyard is there. Make the drink. Wine they drink. But if you say wine is civilized behavior, eating meat and potato is a civilized behavior, the person who is drinking water is uncivilized. Another nonsense. Superiority, inferiority. Or the person thinks, I am a vegetarian, that fellow is a barbarian. What? Circumstances. Putting on a three-piece suit is not a civilized behavior. It's cold. Except your nose, nothing should be available. Everything covered up, gloves, socks, three-piece, four-piece, overcoat. Why? Minus 40. And come to Madras, Kopina. Just a piece of cloth. Don't say, people are uncivilized. Uncivilized. So put on your three-piece suit and hang in the sunlight, let's see. Absolutely silly conditions. Understand? Things change. Even suppose, you can explain many things. Suppose people put in the Middle Eastern long clothes, because covering from the sun. Yesterday there was a photograph of a girl going in a scooter in Madras, fully covered, all covered. It's like a burqa. Why? With so much of sunshine, it does not get burnt. Maybe that was the tradition for which the women were putting it on. But that does not mean you go to a open country where there is no heat, no nothing, but you completely cover up. I mean, the choice is yours. Look at the conditions. Here I am, suppose this cloth I am putting on. I go to Europe in winter time. Can I put on this cloth and go? If I go like this, I have to insist on putting like this, then I have to stay inside the room only. Last March when I went there, I had to stay inside the room. Why? Because it's so cold, 6 feet ice. So if you want to go out, you have to cover it. Put on the shoes, put on everything, uncomfortable, then don't go. So if suppose there is a sadhu there, you expect him to put on a fancy cloth like this, you want him to be buried, dead. That person comes there to India, but he must have the full-length dress, religious dress. For what? Just put on a kobina and hang around. Please appreciate, the world needs to, you must see, there is no superior, inferior behavior. Circumstances, climate, geographical conditions influence all these food, dress, behavior, so many different ways. So passing a judgment somebody is no good. But if you say yours is the only thing, no. What is only thing is, everybody, if you want one thing compulsory, everybody must know about himself. That is only compulsory thing. Rest of the thing, don't worry. Only thing, that is absolute necessity, compulsory. That you must know about yourself. Is it something unjustified to ask? Unjustified to expect? That everybody must be sensible, everybody must know about himself? It is for your convenience you must know about yourself. Why? Because you are lost in the roles. Sometimes father, sometimes brother, sometimes husband, sometimes wife, sometimes believer, sometimes non-believer. What a headache I am going through. The whole mess of roles inside destroys me completely. So for my interest, I must know myself. Once I know myself, thereafter which role I want to play? I am happy. Yes, but I want to marry. Go ahead. I don't want to marry. Don't worry. I want to be a father. Be. I don't want to be nice. I want to adopt. Right. I don't want to adopt. Fine. I want to take up a job. Go ahead. I don't want any job. Fine. But if you don't want a job, don't demand comfort from others also. And if you want a job, work. You will have all the time at your, you will have all the money at your disposal, but also no time at your disposal because 24 hours job. You must see the consequences. Then you decide. The trouble is when you are vague, please appreciate. If all of us study, think like this, what a world it will be. What is your faith? Why am I interested? It's a silly question to ask. Should you ask somebody's faith? Somebody's belief? Why should you ask? What is your belief? What is your religion? What is your God? No, who am I? All the forms that are filled up in life, you go to consulate, you go to landing card, you go to office, you go to any form fill up, college, university, what do they do? Everything that you fill up is all that you have. The name that you have, the sex that you, gender that you have, the food that you, the father that you have, the mother that you have, the money that you have. So that you can, what they'll do? They will not tell you who you are, so that they will get degree that you have, you are going to have. Then they will give a visa that you are going to have. They will give a citizenship that you are going to have. Fill up the forms, then you are going to have a faith, then they will give a faith that you are going to have. Nobody will tell you who you are. Are you getting the defect from the whole system? Yet you can't see the defect. Why? Functional behavior. Functional. Because all of the things that you have also must be known. But know the difference between who you are and what you have. So the first thing you must know is about who you are. Suppose you come to this knowledge and I give you giving you an identity that you are going to have. This is another mess. In self-awareness, you recognize, understand yourself. as to who you are. When you are like this, thereafter you are so comfortable with yourself and therefore comfortable with everybody else as they are. It becomes a beautiful creation. Please see that. This line is like a graffiti. Na buddhivedam janayit. Don't create any conflict in somebody. How not to create a conflict? Help him to know about himself. Are you getting that? Where from conflict comes? Not knowing yourself creates conflict. Are you getting that point? Not creating yourself creates conflict. You are an idiot. You are an idiot. How can you say that? Why? Why? Because he is creating a conflict. You don't think you are an idiot and he says you are an idiot. Therefore, he creates a conflict. How can you say that? Okay. Why did you eat 4 idlis? Why did you take that mango? Angry, you are angry now. I never took the mango. I took the thing. Why? Because he is giving you a role which you don't deserve. You understand? Simple statement. He is giving a role of a person stealing which you are not doing. He is giving you for food which you are not doing. He is telling that you have eaten that food which you are not doing. Listen carefully. So he is giving you a role which you don't deserve. Conflict of interest. So you are an unbeliever. Don't tell me that. I am a believer. You are a believer. Non-believer, you are angry. What is this? Are you understanding every moment how you are affected by your roles? Now, when you know about yourself who you are, it's not a role. You have stolen the banana. Oh, if you say so, I have not. Why protest? Why protest? Protesting means accepting the other person's idiocy. Oh, you have stolen the mango. Thank you. You did this. Why? It's not a role. You are absolutely at rest with yourself. Are you getting that point? Every moment of your life. That is why there is absolutely no conflict at any time. With that we will stop. There is absolutely no conflict at any time. So look at yourself. Do you have a conflict in yourself? If you have, you cannot stop creating conflict in other people's life. If you are a fulfilled person, you have no time to create conflict for yourself and you will have no interest in creating conflict for others. Why? Why create a mess? Close your eyes. See that for yourself. Who you are is so interesting, flawless, absolute, infinite happiness that you are. Silence, awareness. You don't want to be anything else.